Swami Vishnu-devananda gives a talk, Krishna's birthday, Krishna Jayanti, August 1989.
Fever, and he's at the deathbed now. And suddenly, the attendants of Lord Yama, the death, the horrible figures, they send they look out the souls who are about to die, and they put the snooze and draw the astral body and take them and bring the Chittaruta, the custodian of the karmic debt, is the computer, like you got in Christianity, what you call Saint Peter? Saint Peter. Like Saint Peter is the computer, here we call Chittaruta. He keeps all the astral records of all your good karma and bad karma, what you've done. And Chittaruta brought the Azamna Brahman was brought by the those that just tried to drag his astral body away. And he saw the horrible figures, the teeth and he, just like the Jadapada was worried about the deer. He thought, oh, my son is playing, Narayan is playing outside. My God, he sees these horrible figures, oh, he would be frightened. So, Narayana, come here. We started the boy to come in. At that time, Narayana, come here. Suddenly Narayana came. All the attendants of Narayana, they all have the forearms. They all came with forearms. And immediately cut the news by the attendants of the Lord. Yes, they cut it. Come on, get out. What are you doing here? You have got no business here. He is calling Narayana. And that's not your place. And the Yama attendants were, the death attendants were very angry. How dare no one ever try to stop our duty? We are doing the duty of the Yama, the death. He is a horrible Brahmin. He did so many sins in his life. He never did all Sandhavana, Pranam, everything forgotten. He mixed with the low caste moon and for children. And we are going to take him to Yama's Loga to put him on fire and send him to hell for his wrong behavior. Vishnu said, oh, no. You don't know any dharma. You call your king is Dharmaraja. The Lord Yama is also Dharmaraja, abode of dharma, law. In fact, law, justice. But you don't know the real justice. This man repeated Narayana at the last moment. No one can come near him. That's brought now. Vaikuntha is the most transcendental abode of Lord Vishnu. It is called Narayana, come here. Then Yama said, no, that's not possible. He did not call the Narayana the Vishnu. He called Narayana his son. So he is eligible to go to hell, not to heaven. Then again, the Vishnu said, no, you just go and ask your master. You don't know Dharma. You better go. You are not a true justice. You don't know justice. You go find out this and ask. And so they cut the loose, and Ajamla came back from his delirium and all this. He saw this dying vision, the conversation between Vishnu's attendants and Yama's attendants. At last, he was. And then the Yama's attendants ran to. They thought he is the highest man, Dharmaraja, everyone was afraid. Here the people, the Lord attendants came, Vishnu's attendants came, they just drove them out. How can it be possible, oh Lord, we are doing our duty? Dharmaraja said, what happened? Said, all the narrative, the whole story. The man called his son Narayana. Oh, you must have, please never go where anyone calls Narayana at the last moment to get out of that place. But he was calling his son. Then Lord Yama, you don't know Dharma. The last moment, if the attachment was to his son, he would have called, my son, come here. Is it not? You call your son David, sometimes you call my son also, is it not? Sometimes, son, come here, is it not? When the attachment is too intense, son, come here. My son, don't do this. Be a good boy. So he did not call, son, come here. If his attachment was intense, because he had done many good karmas, Gayatri, Narayan, Onamo Narayana mantra, he did all his earlier life. So temporarily there was a mistake he did. But still the old samskaras in the subconscious mind, he called Narayana, otherwise he would have called, my son, come here. At that time he would be caught with the son. But though he was calling Narayana, his mind was fixed in the earlier life as Narayana. So the Narayana came. Otherwise he would have called my son. The last thought will not be Narayana or your mantra. If your attachment is very intense. Even King Bharata, he has to call the deer come back, so he became a deer. So here, when you call Narayana, and Narayana came. So that story, just to give you the story to understand how the Lord's thought works. So you practice your intense Om Narayana chanting, your mantras and your prasana pranayama, your last thought will be very clear. So with that, I conclude. And now it's midnight, about 10 minutes. We take the story of Lord Krishna, Avatar we read, and then we will worship. Chapter. Now the time of Lord Krishna's birth is very auspicious. That is here story goes on. Devaki, I'll just read it few minutes before and then we'll come to that. There was a great tyrant, Kamsa. He ruled Mathura with iron fist. Everyone has to work 15 hours to work for his palace or his city to make city rich, or his palace, his treasury rich. He did every type of evil thing to make his life happy, and he's a tyrant king. He has got a sister called Devaki. And this beautiful young Devaki was about to be given in marriage to Vasudeva, not Vasudeva. That son, Vasudeva's son is called Vasudeva. That's a Vasudeva. Vasudeva, that's the father's name. And the Kamsa, the brother, was very happy that his sister is going to marry on that day. And of course, Vishnu brought all the armies and the beautiful decorations, and then the Devaki and Vasudeva was, himself was driving the chariot to show that his love for his sister and his new brother-in-law. So he himself was driving chariot, putting both Devaki and Vasudeva to show his love and affection. And as he was driving down, suddenly there comes that incorporeal voice, astral voice, celestial voice. O Kamsa, that is of one of the demonic efforts from the past, like Ravana, and then third incarnation of Kamsa. Your enemy is going to be born soon. And the very sister you are now driving in this procession, with the kettle drums and the conches and so forth, you are great. And the eighth womb of this sister, your sister, will be your death. And your old enemy, Vishnu, will come in the form of Krishna, and he will destroy you and take you all your noble wealth, and your very body will be destroyed by the Krishna, the eighth womb of Devaki. And the tyrant, when he heard that his own sister, his own nephew, eighth nephew, is going to kill him, he was angry. He was thinking that body is everything. He just got out of the chariot and pulled the sister from the chariot, and Vasudeva was still, the newlywed husband, Vasudeva was still pleading in what is happening? And he took the sword and he laughed. Your eighth womb is going to kill me. Now if I just kill you now, where the first womb was eighth womb, where will be? No children will come out. So the celestial voice will be very negative. I am going to make that voice very wrong. And so he took the sword about to cut the Devaki, his sister's head. And Vasudeva pleaded again, said, "This is not right. You are a great king. Your own sister, She's trembling, and it's the most auspicious time, and she has not done anything wrong to you. And Kamsa was not going to listen anything. I will cut her head, and no children will be born out of this. Then again, Vasudha fell at his feet. Please, O king, this is your sister. More, she has not done anything wrong. Her eighth womb is going to according to voice. In that case, I will promise the sun, moon, and God, every child born of to this Devaki, your sister, I will bring myself. That is my child also, has a husband. This child, I will bring myself and give to you, so you can kill the child. Please spare your sister. And as Vasudeva promised, Kamsa was very happy. At last, okay, I will not kill my sister at this time, but you have promised. Yes, I will keep my promise. And both were imprisoned, so that in case they did not keep the promise, but each child came, and as soon as the baby is born, God was there, immediately reported. Kamsa himself came and then killed one after another. So all 6 children were killed. Now the 7th, one behind, one more. Here, 7th child. Again, Devaki was carrying 7th womb, the 7th child. But this is incarnation of the Ananda Shaya, that is where Lord Vishnu was called. In the previous incarnation was Lakshmana. And but Kamsa is afraid of any child, doesn't matter. He is going to destroy this child also. So here comes the story of the surrogate mother. Even in ancient days we had surrogate. That divine baby child, 7th womb of Devaki, was taken and put into womb of the Rohini in the Nanda Gokula, where Nanda, the head of the cowherds, he had 2 wives. One is Yashoda, other is the Rohini. Rohini is the elder wife. This child from the Devaki's womb, 7th one, is taken and put in the Rohini's womb, in far away, other side of the river. So no one will know. And then it creates an illusion that Devaki is an abortion. The 7th womb is aborted. And Kamsa was actually happy. Now I don't worry about 7th womb. I don't have to kill. Everything is finished. But it was actually transferred to Rohini's womb. And Rohini is carrying the 7th womb. That became Balrama. That's why the brother later on. And then again, Devaki was pregnant, 8th womb. This is the moment Kamsa was constantly worried about. The 8th womb. And now he has got no sleep. Devaki is pregnant, and her face is blooming because the very Lord itself is manifesting to her. Her face is blooming, and each day Kamsa did not sleep. Because 3 minutes, okay, I have concluded. So Kamsa will not speak and will not sleep, and all the gates must be closed and locked every day, and look for God, and left, right, and right. Then maybe Krishna may be coming that way, Krishna may be coming this way, etc. Constantly remembering about the birth, and at last, Krishna was born, and then before Krishna was born, the Lord Vishnu himself appeared in the jail and told, if all the gods were when sleep, deep slumber, as many of you are already doing here. When God comes always, everyone sleeps. Okay, devotees wait. And everyone, all the gods and all the things, told Vasudeva, as soon as my little form comes up, now I'll change my form from 4th into a small baby. And at that time, you put me in a basket and take me to the other side of the Yamuna river and bring to Yashoda, where by that time the seventh womb already born as Balrama, the elder brother now, the Robini. And the second wife, Yashoda, is going to give birth to a girl child. And you put me next to the, and then she also will not know that she gave birth to a girl. And you put me there and take the baby girl to here and put the girl back in. That this was goddess. That's why Krishna, the god, Krishna's sister, Devi goddess, and she manifested there. It's also a divine will to create that illusion and so bring that, and that was the instruction. And then suddenly he took the form of Krishna baby, and everyone sleep, and they were put in a small basket and carried to Gokula, and there was a flood in the Yamuna river. Flood really was flood, and again like Red Sea opened, the river gave rain for the Vasudeva to bring the Krishna baby to Yashoda. Even the Gokula, everyone was asleep because tremble, deep tremble, and no one could even know Yashoda gave a birth. Even Yashoda did not know. And there was a girl child. He left the Krishna, the male child, and took the baby girl into his jail, there, as soon as he entered with the baby, suddenly all the lock automatically, everything by divine power, all suddenly the God heard the cry of the child, the girl, there ran to Kamsa, informed the eighth womb with the Yashoda gave, the Devi gave the birth, and then Kamsa ran without even dressing up. This is the most frightful thing he wanted to destroy. And he came and opened the lock, and there he saw a girl. Well, there must be a boy. Why is a girl? Oh, there was some mistake, but it doesn't matter what it is. So he took the child on the hind leg and the baby, and he dashed the child on the rock. And the child, the baby child, she is the manifestation of Durga, and she slipped from the hand of the Kamsa and kicked his crown. She went up with the big divine form. Well, what are you going to do? You're trying to kill me? Your death is already waiting somewhere. With that, she disappeared, and her work function is over. And Kamsa onward, Kamsa killed every children born for several days here, and afterwards, one of the child must be Krishna. This went on. So that's the story. Now we'll read the actual story from Bhagavatam. Here this is full faith and full attention. That the God Krishna be born in your heart.
Advent of Lord Sri Krishna. Sri Sukha resumed. Now came the most delightful hour, fraught with all blessings, when precisely the star Rohini, presided over by Brahma, son of the birthless Lord Vishnu, was at the ascendant, and when the rest of the planets and stars bore a gentle aspect. The quarters became clear of clouds as though it were autumn, although the rainy season had not yet ended, while the firmament was marked with the presence of multitudes of stars shining unobscured. The earth was seen with its towns, villages, stations of cowherds, and mines full of festivities. The rivers flowed in a limpid stream, ponds bloomed with lotuses. Rows of forest trees, laden with bunches of flowers, rang with the sweet noise of birds and swarms of bees. A hallowed breeze, coming as it did from the direction of the holy Yamuna, and wafting a sweet fragrance, blew delightful to the touch. The sacred fires of the twice-born burst into flames on the occasion. The minds of the righteous became cheerful, oppressed as they had been by the demons. When that birthless Lord was about to be born, kettle drums sounded of themselves in heaven. At that time, Kinnaras and Gandharvas sang, Siddhas and Charanas uttered praises, and Vidyadhara women danced.
Celestial dancers and the physicians
danced with celestial nymphs. Full of joy, sages and gods showered flowers and clouds, gently rumbled after the manner of the roaring ocean. When midnight, enveloped in thick darkness, came, and when people's prayer for his descent began, Lord Vishnu, the indweller of all hearts, manifested himself in his entirety through Devaki, who possessed a form similar to that of a goddess, being an incarnation of Aditi, the mother of the gods, even as the full moon would appear in the eastern horizon. Vasudeva beheld that extraordinary boy with lotus-like eyes, endowed with 4 arms, wielding uplifted weapons, such as a conch, a mace, and a discus, bearing on his bosom the mark of Srivasta, a golden curl of hair characteristic of Lord Vishnu, clad in yellow silk, possessing the charm of a cloud laden with moisture, with the Kaustuba gem shining at his neck, and his profuse locks bathed in the splendor of his diadem, and earrings studded with precious cat's eyes, and highly resplendent with an exquisite girdle, armlets, and bangles. Plunged in joy to behold Srihari as his own son, and with his eyes wide open through wonder at the appearance of the all-pervading Lord, the womb of his wife, Devaki, even though he was bound inwardly with the shackles of ignorance, and outwardly by the fetters of Kamsa. Vasudeva mentally gave away on that auspicious occasion 10,000 cows to Brahmins in his hurry to celebrate the descent of Sri Krishna. Concluding the boy, who was illuminating the lying-in chamber with his own splendor, to be no other than Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Person, Oskian Abharata Vasudeva, who was aware of the Lord's greatness and whose fear was completely gone, now proceeded to glorify him with a guileless mind and joined palms, his body bent low with humility. Vasudeva prayed, "You have been directly known by me to be the same as the Supreme Person, existing beyond Prakriti, nay, consisting of absolute and conscious bliss, the witness of all minds. Having evolved even as such, consisting of truth consciousness and bliss, at the beginning of creation of this universe, consisting of the 3 gunas, by your own creative energy, you are conceived as having entered it after that, even though, as a matter of fact, you have not entered it. Just as these elementary principles appear to have entered their evolutes, so is the case with you. Combining with their 16 evolutes, the former actually bring forth the cosmic egg, though possessing diverse properties and existing apart. And having duly evolved it, they appear as having entered it, even though they do not really do so. Their entry into it is not possible due to their being already present in it, as its causes. In this way you are imagined as having entered Devaki's womb, though not having actually entered it. Though existing with the objects perceptible by the senses, whose true nature can only be inferred through the perception of sense objects, you are not apprehended along with those objects. For the distinction of inside and outside does not exist in you, that comprise and indwell all, are all pervading and real, because of your being unlimited. How then can it be possible for you to enter anything? He who concludes with regard to material objects perceptible by him that they are real as distinct from their own self is ignorant. And since, when investigated into, such an object does not prove to be anything but a mere display of words, a man acknowledging what has been disproved is certainly a fool. The wise declare the appearance, the continuance and destruction of this universe, O Lord, is proceeding from you, who are desireless, beyond the 3 gunas and changeless. This is not incompatible in you. You are at once Brahma, the Absolute, and the Almighty Lord. As a matter of fact, whatever is done by the gunas is ascribed to you because of your being their ultimate ground. As such, consisting of truth, consciousness, and bliss, of course you assume by your creative will your pure white complexion, for the continuance of the 3 worlds, your red complexion, endowed with the principle of rajas for their creation, and a dark complexion, evolved by tamas for their destruction. Intending to protect this universe, O Lord, the ruler of all, you have descended in my house. You will in course of time extirpate for the protection of the righteous armies led by numberless Asura chiefs passing under the name of Kshatriya princes. Hearing of your birth in our house, this villain Kamsa actually killed your elder brothers, O ruler of the gods. Learning of your advent as soon as it is intimated by his men, He will rush in this very moment with uplifted weapons. Sri Shuka went on. Perceiving her aforesaid son endowed with the characteristics of Lord Vishnu, Devaki, who was hitherto afraid of Kamsa, now bore a bright smile on her countenance and glorified him. Devaki prayed, "You are Lord Vishnu himself, the illuminator of all psychophysical organisms, the indefinable reality, which the Vedas declare as the unmanifest cause consisting of mere consciousness, transcending the three gunas, absolute existence, unqualified and devoid of activity. When at the end of two parardas, constituting the life of Brahma, the universe consisting of 7 higher and 7 lower worlds is dissolved into its constituent elements by force of time, the 5 gross elements are ultimately merged along with the 10 indriyas and the mind, including the deities presiding over them, in Ahankara, their cause. Ahankara is merged in the Mahat Tattva. The Mahat Tattva is the unmanifest, and the unmanifest in yourself. You alone are left, and therefore called by the name of Shesha. The wise declare as a potency of yours the aforesaid time, which extends in point of duration, from the twinkling of an eye to a year, and is infinite in extent, and under whose impulse the universe proceeds on in its cyclic course. O Director of the Unmanifest, I fly for protection to you as such the ruler of time as well as of Prakriti, the abode of security. Afraid of the serpent of death and running about all the worlds in quest of a quarter free from the fear of death, a mortal is not able to attain a place void of fear. Having by an indescribable stroke of good luck reached your lotus feet, he rests in peace, O primeval being. For even death turns away from him. As such, kindly protect you us, your devotees, afraid of the terrible Kamsa. For you are the dispeller of the grave fears of your servants. And pray, do not reveal to the ignorant this divine form, the object of meditation. Let not that wicked one know of your birth through me, O slayer of the demon Madhu. I am terribly afraid for your sake of Kamsa, and feel much agitated at heart. Withdraw, O soul of the universe, this 4-armed transcendent form, adorned with the splendor of a conch, the discus, a mace, and the lotus. It is the truism that you, the Supreme Person, hold at the end of the cosmic night the final dissolution in your body, this vast universe with enough space about it. That you, as such, would have entered my womb, oh, that is surely an imitation of human ways. The Lord replied, in a previous life, the 3rd incarnation preceding the present one, in course of the Swayambhuva Manvantara, you alone, O good lady, were Krishna. In that life, he, your husband, was a sinless Prajapati, Sutapa by name. When indeed you two were commanded by Brahma to beget progeny, thereupon you both practiced most rigid austerities, fully controlling your senses, enduring one another peculiarities of the various seasons in the form of rain, storm, sunshine, snow, and heat, nay, subsisting now on withered leaves and now on air alone, and with the impurities of your mind wiped out through breath control, you performed my worship with a calm mind, seeking the object of your desire from me. While you, with your mind fixed on me, were both thus practicing severe austerities, most difficult to practice, O good lady, 12,000 celestial years rolled by, constantly contemplated upon in the heart with reverence and devotion, coupled with asceticism, and highly pleased with you both, O sinless one. I, the foremost of all bestowers of boons, appeared on that occasion in this very form with the desire of conferring on you the blessings sought by you both. When the words, ask any boon of your choice, were uttered by me, a son like me was asked for by you. Having not yet tasted the pleasures of sense and not blessed with any issue, you, husband and wife, did not ask the boon of final beatitude of me, infatuated as you were by my Maya. Having secured the desired boon of getting a son like me, and having thus realized your ambition, you proceeded, when I had left, to enjoy the sensuous pleasures. Not finding anyone else in the world alike in amiable disposition, magnanimity, and other qualities, I myself was born as your son, and became known by the name of Krishna Garba, son of Krishna. Once more, as a son of you both, as aforesaid, I was born of Aditi, to the sage Kasyapa, an incarnation of Sutapa, and came to be known as Upendra, Indra's younger brother, and also as Vamana, because of my dwarf-like form. Indeed, in this third incarnation of you both as such, I am again born at this moment in the same four-armed form as was revealed to you before. For my word is always true, O good lady. This four-armed form has been revealed to you again for reminding you of my previous descents, for knowledge of my identity is not had otherwise through a mortal semblance. Now, of course, I will assume the form of a human babe as desired by you, constantly thinking of me as a son, and also as Brahma, the all-pervading Lord, and having bestowed your love on me, you both will attain the highest state of union with me, in the form of co-residence with me in my divine abode. Sri Shuka continued. Having thus spoken, Lord Sri Hari became silent, and instantly assumed the form of an ordinary child by his own free will, his parents gazing with wonder. Thereupon, as the aforesaid Vasudeva, the son of Sura, who suddenly found his feathers loosened, felt inclined to step out of the lying-in chamber, taking his son securely, as urged by the Lord that very moment. Yogamaya, who was nicknamed Aja, was born to the wife of Nanda at Gokula. Now the gatekeepers, having been deprived for the time being of all their cognitive faculties, and the citizens too having been sent to sleep by her Yogamaya, all the gates of the palace, even though they had been closed by means of huge doors as well as with steel bolts and chains, and were thus hard to penetrate, flew open by themselves, the moment Vasudeva arrived, carrying Lord Sri Krishna on his head, even as darkness would disperse with the appearance of the sun. At that time, clouds rained with a gentle rumbling, while Shesha followed at the heels of Vasudeva, warding off the rain by means of his 1,000 hoods, spread as an umbrella over his head. While Indra, the rain god, was pouring showers frequently in order to avert the popular gaze and allowing a respite at intervals so as to avoid continued hardships to Vasudeva, the Yamuna river, presided over by a deity of the same name and the younger sister of Yama, the god of retribution, covered with foam due to waves set up by the force of its deep flood, and studded with hundreds of fearful maelstroms, afforded passage to divine Sri Krishna by becoming fordable, even as the ocean did of yore to Lord Sri Rama. Reaching Nanda's Raja and finding there the cow herds headed by Nanda buried in deep sleep under the influence of Yoga Maya, Vasudeva placed his son on the bed of Yashoda.
Vasudeva is the son of Krishna's name. Vasudeva is the father's name. Vasudeva
placed his son on the bed of Yashoda and returned forthwith to the palace of Kamsa, taking with him in exchange her divine daughter. Laying the divine girl on Devaki's bed and putting the chains about his feet again, Vasudeva now stood confined as before. Yashoda, Nanda's wife, too simply came to know of a child having been born to her, but did not notice its sex, exhausted as she was by the throes of parturition, and rendered unconscious by Yoga Maya. Sri Sukha resumed. Vasudeva, having returned to the palace, all the outer main gates as well as those of the jail were closed as before. Then, on hearing the cry of the babe, the guards of the palace got wide awake. Hastily approaching Kamsa, they now reported to the ruler of the Bhojas that particular childbirth, the birth of the 8th child of Devaki, which he anxiously awaited. Rising hurriedly from his bed and distressed to think the baby was his death, he went in all haste to the lying-in chamber with tottering steps and disheveled hair. Wretched as she was, the shining and virtuous lady pathetically addressed her aforesaid cousin as follows. She is deserving of protection like a daughter-in-law to you, O Blessed One. You ought not to kill a female child. Many a babe, brilliant as fire, has been killed by you, impelled as you were by Providence, O brother. This solitary and helpless girl may kindly be gifted to me, since I am undoubtedly your younger cousin, whose sons have been killed, and who is therefore miserable, O Lord. You ought to bestow on me, hapless as I am, this last progeny of mine. O dear brother. Sri Shukra went on. Thus entreated by Devaki, who wept like a most helpless woman, hugging her daughter and roughly rebuking her with vehemence, the wicked one snatched the baby from her hand. Seizing by the feet his cousin's daughter who had just been born, Kamsa, whose affection for his cousin had been uprooted by self-interest, dashed her against the hard surface of a slab. Flying off his hand, the younger sister of Sri Krishna instantly rose to the heavens and was seen in the form of a goddess with 8 mighty arms equipped with weapons. Adorned with ethereal wreaths, raiment, sandal paste, and bejeweled ornaments, she wielded severally a bow, a pike, an arrow, a shield, a sword, a conch, and a mace in her 8 hands. While being hymned by Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, Asparas, Kinnaras, and Nagas, who offered various articles of worship to her, she uttered the following words: "What would you gain by my being slain, O foolish one? For your destroyer, who is your erstwhile adversary too, has been born in some place or other. Therefore do not kill other helpless children in vain." Having warned him thus, lo, the almighty Maya disappeared and stayed on earth as a deity under diverse appellations in shrines of different names. Highly amazed to hear the words uttered by her, and having completely liberated Devaki and Vasudeva, Kamsa spoke with humility.
Om Jayanti. Thus, Lord Krishna took avatar in our heart, took the darkness, and will go and take us up to the divine abode, to merge in the divine abode. You may see that meditate and then do just the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Shanti. Now you can do. Someone just go to the temple and ask and bring that person also. Sorry. Why do you put lights off? Put the lights on. See, someone just go to the temple, do arti, and then bring that person inside it. Okay, ready? doing there now. Srinivasan, tell me what are you doing? Pardon? Do you know the priority? This one should better. Okay. Start.
भूमिं विशुदो कृत्वा अथ तिष्ठदशाङ्गुलं पुरुष एवेदं सर्वं यद्भूतयश्च भव्यम् उदामुदत्तशेषानः यदन्येनातिरोहति यदावानस्य महिमाम् अदो जायागंश्च पूरुषः पादोऽस्य विश्वाभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादोऽर्ध उदयपुरुषः पादो सेहा भवात् पुनः तदो विश्वङ्गकामदे शासनानशने अभि तस्मात् विराड जायतां विराजो अधिपूरुषः स जातो अत्यैच्छदां पश्चाद्भुन्मथो पुरः यत्पुरुषेण हविषा देव इति मदन्वदां वसन्तो अस्यासि राज्यं ग्रीष्मयुग्मशरद्धरिः सप्तास्यासन् परिधयः समितकृताः देवा यज्ञं तन्वानाः अबन्धन्तु तं पशुं तं यज्ञं दर्शिष्यौक्षण्ये पुरुषं जातमद्भुतः तेन देवा अयजन्ता साध्यायसे तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वबुधः संस्कृतं कुशलाज्यं वसुं च वायव्यानि आरण्यान् ग्राम्याश्चये तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वकुतः सुजसामानि जज्ञिरे छन्दांसि जज्ञिरे तस्मात् यजुस्तस्मात् जायताम् तस्मादश्वा अजायन्ता एके चोभयाततः प्रावोः जज्ञिरे तस्मात् जाता अजावयः यत्पुरुषं यदतु कथिताः कल्पयन् मुखं किमस्य कौ बाहु काऊरूपादामुच्येते ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यकृतः पूर्वदशैर्वैश्यः पद्यागं सूर्यो अजायतां चन्द्रमा मनसो जातः चक्षो सूर्यो अजायतां मुखादिन्द्रश्चास्मिश्च प्राणात् वायुरजायता नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षं शीर्ष्णोऽब्जौ समवर्तदा पथ्यां भूमिदिशश्चोत्रादि तथा लोकादुम् अकल्पयन् वेदाहमेकं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसस्तु पारे सर्वाणि रूपाणि विजित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वा अविवदन् यदास्ते धादाकरस्ताच्च मृगाजहाराम् शक्रप्रविद्वान् प्रविशश्च तस्रः तमेवं विद्वान् अमुद इह भवति नान्यपन्था अयनाय विद्यते यज्ञमयचन्द्रदेवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् तेहनाथं महिमानं सजन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साध्यासन्ति देवाः अभ्यस्तन् रोगपृथिवेरसाश्च विश्वकर्मणः समवर्तदाति तस्यष्टाभिध्रुवमेभिः तत्पुरुषेण विश्वमाजानमध्ये वेदाहमेदं पुरुषं महान्तं आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमें विद्वान् अमद इह भवति नान्यपन्था विद्यते अयनाय प्रजावतिश्चरितत्वे अन्तः अजायमानो बहुधा विजायते तस्य धीरा परिजानन्ति योनिं मरीचीनां पदमिच्छन्ति वेदसः यो देवेभ्य आदपति यो देवानां पुरोहितः पूर्वो यो देवेभ्यो जातः नमो रुद्राय ब्राह्मणे उदं ब्राह्मणं जनयन्तः देव अग्रे पदब्रुवन् योस्तयों ब्राह्मणो विद्यात् तस्य देव असन्वसे श्रीचरैरश्मिश्च पत्न्यो अहोरात्रे पार्श्वे नक्षत्राणि रूपम् अश्विनो व्याप्तम् इष्टं मनीषाणा अमुं मनीषाणा सर्वं मनीषाणा ॐ सातशेषं देवं विश्वाक्षं विश्वसम्भुवं विश्वं नारायणं देवमक्षरं परमं पदं विश्वदपरमान् नित्यं विश्वं नारायणं हरिं विश्वमेवेदनं पुरुषं तद्विश्वजीवति पदं विश्वस्यात्मेश्वरं शाश्वतं शिवमच्युतं नारायणं महाज्ञेयं विश्वात्मानं परायणं नारायणपरोच्यो निरात्मा नारायणपरः नारायणपरं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं नारायणपरः नारायणपरो ध्यानं नारायणपरः यश्च किञ्चित् जगत्सर्वं दृश्यते श्रूयतेऽपि वा अन्तर्बहिर्जगत्सर्वं व्याप्य नारायणस्थिरः आनन्दमयं कविं समुद्रेन्दं विषसम्भुवं पद्मकोशप्रतीकाशकं कविं चाप्यधोमुखम् अतो नित्यागतस्यां देनात्म उदरतिष्ठति ज्वालमालाकुलं भाति विश्वस्यायतनं महति सन्ददिं शिलादिस्तु लम्भद्या कोशसन्निपं तस्यां ते सुशरगं सोष्णुं तस्मिन् सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं तस्य मध्ये महालक्ष्मी विश्वाच्च विश्वतोमुखः सो प्रभुक्तिपचन् तिष्ठ नाहारमजरकवि तिरगूर्धमतशायि विस्मयत्तस्य संददा संलापयि संवेदम् आपादलमस्तः तस्य मध्ये वंशिखा अनियोध्वा व्यवस्थितः नीलद्वयमध्यस्था विद्युल्लेखेव भास्वरा निवारशोकवर्तन्ये पीडाभास्वतमुपमा तस्या शिखाया मध्ये परमात्मा व्यवस्थितः स ब्रह्म स शिव स हरिसेन्द्रसोऽक्षर परमस्वरात् तदगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्मपुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् रूपरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् विष्णोर्नुकं वीर्याणि प्रवोचं यः पार्थिवानि ब्रह्ममेरजागंसि यो अस्तभायुस्तरगं सधस्थं विजस्तमानस्थे दूरुगायो विष्णोरराडमसि विष्णो पृष्ठमसि विष्णो शंत्रेतो विष्णो सूरसि विष्णो ध्योमसि वैष्णवमसि विष्णवे त्वा ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ हिरण्यवर्णां धरणीं सुवर्णरजतस्थजां चन्द्रां हिरण्यीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो मावः ताम् आवह जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं विन्देयं कामश्यं पुरुषानहम् अश्वपूर्वां प्रथमध्यां हस्तिनादप्रबोधिनीं श्रियं देवीम् उपक्वे श्रीर्मा देवी कुशलां कां सोत्मुदां हिरण्यप्राकारामात्रां ज्वलन्तीं धृतां तर्पयन्तीं पद्मेश्वरां पद्मवर्णां सामिहोपक्वे श्रियं चन्द्रां प्रभासां यशसा ज्वलन्तीं श्रियं लोके देवदुष्टामुदारां तां पद्मिनीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये अलक्ष्मीर्मेन शिवां त्वां वृणे आदित्यवर्णे सरसोऽधिजातो वनस्पतिसौवृक्षोलबिल्वः तस्य फलानि तवसानुदन्तु मायान्दरायाश्च भार्या अलक्ष्मीः उपैतुमां देवतः कीर्तुश्च मणिनाथः प्रादुर्भूतोऽस्मिरास्तेऽस्मिन् कीर्तिमिद्धं ददातु मे सुप्तिपाकामलां ज्येष्ठाम् अलक्ष्मीं नाशयाम्यहम् अभूतिमसमद्भिञ्ज सर्वां गन्नुदमे गृहात् गन्धद्वारां दुराधर्षां वित्तपुष्ठां करीषिणीम् ईश्वरीं सर्वभूतानां स्वामिकोपक्वेष्यं मनसः कामागोतिं वाजसत्यमसीमहि पशूनां शुभमन्यस्य मयि श्रीशयता यशः कर्दमेन प्रजाबोधा मयि सम्भवतर्दमां श्रियं वापे मे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनीम् आपस्तुजन्तुस्निग्धानि चिक्लीडवसने गृहे न च देवीं मातरकं श्रियं वासयने कुले आद्यां पुष्करिणीं पुष्टिं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो मावः आर्द्रां यत्कर्णीं यष्टिं पिङ्गलां पद्ममालिनीं चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो मावः ताम आवह जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनवगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं प्रभूतं गावो दासोऽश्वान् विन्देयं पुरुषानम् यशुलिप्रेरो भूत्वा युगयाराज्यमन्वहं सूक्तं पञ्चदशतं च श्रीकामसततं जपेत् पद्माने पद्मऊरु पद्माक्षी पद्मसम्भवे तन्मे भजति पद्माक्षी केन सौख्यं लभाम्यहम् अक्षदायी गोदायी धनदायी महाधने धनं मे तिषदां देवी सर्वकामां च देहि मे पद्माने पद्मे पद्मपत्रे पद्मप्रिये पद्मदलायताक्षि विश्वप्रिये विश्वमनोनुकूले त्वत्पादपद्मं मयि सनिधत्स्व न क्रोधो न मात्सर्यं न लोभो न शुभामतिः भवन्ति कृतपुण्यानां भक्तानां श्रीसूक्तं जपेत् सरस्वतीनिलये सरोजहस्थे धवलकरां सुगन्धमाल्यशोभे भगवति हरिवल्लभे मनोज्ञे त्रिभुवनभूतिकरि प्रसीदमह्यम् विष्णुपत्नीं क्षमां देवीं माधवीं माधवप्रियां लक्ष्मीं प्रेसकीं देवीं ममामच्युतवल्लभाम् ॐ श्रिये जातश्रिय आनिर्याय श्रियं वयो जनुरुभ्यो दधातु श्रियं वसानान् अमृतमायन् भजन्ति सद्यसहिता विदध्योनि श्रिये वयं तत्श्रियामा दधाति सन्ततमृता प्रकृत्यं सन्दर्थं सन्तीयते प्रजया पशुभिः एवं वेद तो महादेवे च विद्महे विष्णुपत्न्यै च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सस्तं यो राविणीमहे गादं यज्ञाय गादं यज्ञपते देवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जगादु भेषजं शन्नो अस्मिवते शन्तनुष्पदे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
One bar for Om Krishnaya Namaha, Om Narayanathaya Namaha, Om Vasudevaya Namaha, Om Sanatanaya Namaha, Om Vasudevatmayaya Namaha, Om Punyaya Namaha, Om Leelamanasi Vigrahaya Namaha, Om Shivasta Kausudharaya Namaha, Om Yashoda Vatsvaya Namaha, Om Mara, Om Hare Namaha, Om Chadurbha Chakrasi Gada Shankaraja Namaha, Om Devaki Nandaya Namaha, Om Shishaya Namaha, Om Nandagopal Priyatmaya Namaha, Om Vinavya Mahaya Namaha, Om Merabadha Priyanjaya Namaha, Om Pudana Jitahara Namaha, Om Sagrasya Panjana Namaha, Om Nandavaja Jananandi Namaha, Om Satyandrihaya Namaha, Om Navanita Vidisnaya Namaha, Om Navanita Narodaya Namaha. Om Navanita Navaharaya Namaha, Om Mudugunda Prasadaya Namaha, Om Shodasastri Sarasaya Namaha, Om Sura, Om Subramandaya Namaha, Om Madhura Sudaya Namaha, Om Sudha Pagmada Sindhuve Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Yoginambare Namaha, Om Vatsavadeshaya Namaha, Om Anandaya Namaha, Om Denavasura Panjanaya Namaha, Om Trinigala Trinavasaya Namaha, Om Mayajina Panjanaya Namaha, Om Uttara Tala Bhetaya Namaha, Om Tamara Shamala Pate Namaha, Om Gaurishwaya Namaha, Yogini Namaha, Om Kortu Samapabhaya Namaha, Om Ilapade Namaha, Om Aranjodashaya Namaha, Yadavindaya Namaha, Om Nidudvahaya Namaha, Om Vanamarjaya Namaha. Om Hidavasaya Namaha, Om Pajatavaraya Namaha, Om Govinda Govardhana Jarodhaya Namaha, Om Gopalaya Namaha, Om Sarva Paladaya Namaha, Om Ajaya Namaha, Om Niranjanaya Namaha, Om Kamajanagaya Namaha, Om Kancharojanaya Namaha, Om Madhina Madhutne Namaha, Om Madhuranadhaya Namaha, Om Dwaraka Nayakaya Namaha, Om Bilni Namaha, Om Vrindavananda Jayane Namaha, Om Tulsidama Krishnaya Namaha, Om Shamanda Satya Namaha, Om Narayanathaya Namaha, Om Kujya Krishnandaya Namaha, Om Madhya Namaha, Om Parambudraya Namaha, Om Mushtika Janura Mala Vidushadaya Namaha, Om Samsara Vedne Namaha, Om Samsare Namaha. Om Murari Namaha, Om Narandagaya Namaha, Om Anadi Brahmajane Namaha, Krishna Vesna Rakshakaya Namaha, Om Shivada Chetaya Namaha, Om Vijayavadna Ramdagaya Namaha, Om Vijarat Puragaya Namaha, Om Vishwarupa Sada Krishakaya Namaha, Om Satyavat Satya Sangalpaya Namaha, Om Satya Bhama Rate Namaha, Om Jain Namaha, Sudra Purajaya Namaha, Om Vishnave Namaha, Om Vishwamukhe Sudaya Namaha, Om Jagadguru Namaha, Om Jagatnathaya Namaha, Om Venunada Ishadaya Namaha, Om Vishwabhasura Vidamshaya Namaha, Om Bhanazira Ramdagaya Namaha, Om Vishwara Pradishtate Namaha, Om Bhagavata Badam Sudaya Namaha, Om Pasade Namaha, Om Agataya Namaha, Om Giramada Madhudve Namaha, Om Kali Mahatmani Manike Rajasi Padambujaya Namaha, Om Damodaraya Namaha, Om Yajna Bhoktaya Namaha, Om Danda Danavendra Vinashaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Balaramsaya Namaha, Om Balabrahmane Namaha, Om Pandagasana Vadanaya Namaha, Om Jarada Satya Govi Vastavagaya Namaha, Om Punya Shlokai Namaha, Om Tirtha Padaya Namaha, Om Veda Vedyaya Namaha, Om Dayanade Namaha, Om Sarva Tirthatmakaya Namaha, Om Sarva Graha Rupine Namaha, Om Paratha Pare Namaha, Om Shri Krishna Namaha, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Aure Karti Pundabi Mashikaji.
Jai
They will bring at 8 o'clock and 8:30.
Few people can help with help the volunteer.
The light. How are you? Happy father. Mother. Brother. And the whole world. Very fine. Very good.
Three volunteers. Volunteer.
But I'm all very good.